We're back. First Lady Michelle Obama has actually been hitting the campaign trail with enthusiasm lately. In recent months, she's made 27 campaign stops in 19 states, including 5 different events in the battleground state of Florida. On Monday, she headlined a star-studded fundraiser up in New York hosted by Robert De Niro. She also appeared on The Late Show with David Letterman, where she talked about her family's blue-collar background. Let's watch.
My father was a working class guy. We were a very close family. My father had multiple sclerosis, and I never knew him to be able to walk. But my dad worked so hard, and he loved us so much. And I think from him, I learned just absolute, complete, unconditional love. We had rules, we had boundaries, but there wasn't anything my dad wouldn't do for us. And don't make me cry.
No.
This isn't Oprah.
I think she's great. So what is it about Michelle Obama that makes her such a potent tool for her husband's reelection? Here's an easy one. And we have Jody Cantor. She's a reporter for the New York Times and author of The Obamas. And Eugene Robinson is a general man who knows many things about many issues, including this one. He's with the Washington Post, and he's an MSNBC political analyst. Let's go to the expert on the Obamas. My question to you, Jody, and congratulations on the book, is why 3 years of hiding her in the White House as the mother of the president's children, as the wife of the president, certainly dignified in that role, but not actively political? What's changed?
Well, she has been accumulating and guarding her political capital all this time. This is the big one. This is their last race. And she is all in and determined to see her husband reelected.
Why is she a plus now and hasn't been one for 3 years, or hasn't been used as one? When the times got really tough, look, 2010, Democrats are getting their butts kicked in all those congressional races. Why didn't they put her out there then to soften the image of the Democratic Party?
They did. She did about 8 events back then, which is not that much. And there was some tension within the White House about how much she was willing to do. You know, her own feeling was that she wasn't willing to put herself out there as much for congressional candidates as she was for her own husband. She sees her job as helping to get her husband reelected.
So she's not Madam Democrat?
No, well, you know, there have been questions about the extent to which the president as well sees himself as sort of the head of the Democratic Party. And she did eventually go out there and campaign for Democrats. But it's really clear that this time she's on a mission. She believes in her husband's presidency, in their accomplishments. She talks a lot in her campaign events about sort of watching from the front lines, right? Watching at home every night, the Michelle Obama eye view of what her husband has accomplished. She really stresses his sincerity, determination. Okay. You know, it's interesting because part of her role is to rally the base, the Democratic faithful. And she really stresses the fact that he hasn't accomplished everything that he wanted to do, but that she wants Democrats to hang on for another 4 years and get re-energized.
Jane, your sense of this generally, then I want to ask you about particulars.
Generally, I think she's doing what first ladies do. I mean, her primary loyalty is to the president and his agenda. They are certainly partners in this endeavor. She is a trusted advisor. You know, she went to Harvard Law too, and so I think this reflects what she sees as her role as a partner, as Jody said in this last election.
Now, the particular question: at Monday's fundraiser up in New York, the First Lady repeated a bit of her stump speech she's used before, apparently, talking about the Supreme Court. She told the audience, quote, "Let us not forget what their decisions, the impact those decisions will have on our lives for decades to come, on our privacy and security, on whether we can speak freely, worship openly, and yes, love whomever we choose." Well, some in the gay community took that last part as a wink toward gay marriage. I certainly would. Jay Carney, the president's press secretary, was asked about it yesterday. Here's what Jay said. Let's watch.
She has said this before and has for some time, and that is a reference to the president's position on the Defense of Marriage Act. The President and First Lady firmly believe that gay and lesbian Americans and their families deserve legal protections and the ability to thrive just like any family does.
Okay, well, that was spin. It was clearly more than a wink. Love whomever we choose. Come on.
Well, look, the president has had it both ways on this issue.
Okay.
For years.
The First Lady's not both ways. She's clearly with
have
this.
It both ways.
But how do you read this in English? Love whomever we choose. Oh, you get in here, Jody.
No, but, you know, I have to say, this is not a first lady who is interested in making news. We have seen this for years. She plays it so safe. She does so few interviews.
Is this safe?
When she talks. You know, it's often about school lunch and whatnot. She's not looking to be in the headlines. She's not looking to cause controversy.
This is headline material, Jody.
I mean, but maybe it was the smallest of winks, but it's a line she's used a lot before. Okay. And maybe, you know, maybe it's in the White House's benefit to have it interpreted both ways, right? It's safely within the boundaries of something they can defend and what they've said before.
Jody, here we make news. Jody Kantor, thank you. We don't nuance and we don't shade. Thank you, Jody Kantor. Congratulations again on your book. And as always, congratulations, Gene Robinson, on everything we do here together and winning Pulitzer Prize.